Okay, here we are, look. I'm climbing up the other side up the valley from Crook Peak. Went in Loxton Church, did a small video in there. Had a little bit of a nibble on me picnic in the churchyard on the bench. Drink. Managed to fill me water bottle up. In the village. Came walking up this little pathway and there's some benches that had just been done up. There was no sign saying it could have been wet paint. And I was sat on a bench, and then this bloke, this farmer in a big truck came along. He said, "Oh, I've only just painted him." I said, "Well, you haven't put a sign up." So I don't think I've got marks. I'll have a look in a minute. He said I haven't. It had dried. And he said he'd paint it again. I said, "Well, you should put a sign up, really. Shouldn't you, just warning people?" But he was alright, we had a laugh. He had a great big silver, huge sort of monster type vehicle. Don't know what you call them. Huge thing. Anyway, this is the West Mendip Way, by the way, what I'm on. It's an ancient track, and it goes all the way to Wells, where the cathedral is. I've done this walk before, twice. I've walked the whole way, 22 miles across country in the past. And when we got to the cathedral, they washed our feet in lovely cold water. It was really nice. And then we got carted back, we got a lift back. But we raised money for Save the Children. I also did it in reverse once. I think we started at Wells Cathedral again. I can't quite remember. Or did we only do half of it? No, we only did a section of it. We did it from what I've done so far now and back. Yeah, that's right. And that was with the nurses raising money for the leukemia, I think it was, at Musgrove Park Hospital. And then we all went in a pub over Weston, near Uphill. At Uphill, there was a pub there, Dolphin or something like that. We all met in there and had a breathing space. So that's I've done it a few times, and I've done quite a few of it walking alone. I do it at least once a year. Now, I normally always do it this way round. I had thought of doing it the other way round, but the only problem with if you do it the other way round, and you miss that last bus, it is a long hike back. Whereas if you get the bus over and then do it this way, well, you've got to walk back at least to Bleadon. Okay? Then you can pick up the number 20 on the Western-super-Mare Road. Or you can, if you make it a bit further to Uphill, you can get this number 20 again, or a number 5. Number 5 stops, I think, about 6:30. There's still quite a late number 20, and there might be other little buses that you can get. I always see how I feel. I always make it to Bleadon, you have to. And then I do really try my hardest to try and do the main walk. It's a big one, mind. Uphill and then back. But what I quite often do is I'll get to the hospital, Western Hospital, get on a bus there. It depends how I am today, because I've managed to recover from that diversion, which was uphill in the heat and full of thistles, brambles, everything getting me. In fact, in a minute I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna turn off. Just gonna get some wet pesticide wipes out of my bag and wipe my ankles with them. Over and out. Carrying on the West Mendip Way along this little track, which it's still going up, believe it or not. Although it's not anywhere near as bad as some of the hills I've done already. I just put some repellent on again because of going in this narrow area with lots of grasses. It's widened a bit here, but it was very narrow back there. So I just thought I'd top up with that. And had a nice little bit of Malteser. It's a Malteser bar actually, it's really nice. Bit of chocolate, a bit of glucose. I've still got cake. I've still got cheeselets and hoops. I've eaten one of my oranges. Get me vitamin C. I've now topped up fully with water, and I've still got a bottle of blackcurrant juice. It's not Ribena, but it's made with water. It's a healthier version as opposed to the Ribena, which apparently I found out Bowie liked. Bowie liked Ribena. It's funny, isn't it, that? How I do as well. Carrying on. See the grass each side. I thought I ought to top up anyway after going through all that bramble and gorse earlier. If there was anything lurking, it might disappear with a strong smell of repellent. So anyway, it's my granddaughter's birthday today. I'm sure she's doing something. No one's informed me otherwise. Her mum's off, so I expect they will be doing something. I think some of my grandkids have gone abroad to Spain. I don't always know, though, you know, that's how things are sometimes. You don't always know what they're doing. They don't sort of say. And then you find out they've gone off. Well, with all these family breakups, you see, they go with one parent 1 minute and they go with another parent, and then, you know, that's what it's like now. God, I used to take my kids on family holidays with my ex. We always went down to Cornwall a lot. It was like our favourite place. We did go to Wales a couple of times, but it was mainly Devon and Cornwall. Guaranteed weather, you see, and you've got small children. And, yeah, we did that when they were little. Right the way up till my youngest was about 13. We were still going off. Then we split. I've had a few holidays since with them, and loads doing my family tree work and having my camper van now, and I'm retired. Yeah, it's August the 1st. I can't believe it. It's we've still got a really good 2 months of good weather. Well, even if it ain't going to be winter weather, put it that way. So I'm living in a new home now, so I'm waiting to see whether it will be cold, how cold it's going to be when I'll have to put the heating on. It's new, so, but the rooms are smaller, so from that point of view, I might be able to save electricity. That's plan A. So along along the West Mendip Way we go. Events in the world, well, I haven't really watched a lot of the news at the moment since the right-wing Tory government are putting down their rules. I just hope we have a general election, really, because I do really think we're heading for disaster with this right-wing government. I think they don't really care about the people at all. They're going to walk all over us and do whatever they want because they represent the super rich. And they wouldn't care if we went down the mines when we were 10 years old again. They really don't care. They're already going to take the TV licence away from elderly people, and I mean people over 75 who maybe are immobile or don't get out as much as they used to socially, and television. And it's okay, we all pay, we've got used to paying for our TV licence, but it's all the time the price goes up. And when it becomes as bad as a poll tax, I think a lot of people won't have it. I mean, in theory, I could go on my internet and watch TV. I don't really have to go through, but you still got to have a TV licence, see? They get you every way. They say, have you got a television licence? Sometimes it's difficult to watch. If you want to watch certain things on the BBC, for example. But I've always paid my way. Leaves very little money left, really, when you're a pensioner. And if like my luxuries are my internet, my broadband, my Alberta, my van is a luxury, really. Like, it shouldn't have to be, but it is. That's how they see it. They would say, well, if you can't afford your electric bill, Sheila, or you can't afford to have any heating, you will have to get rid of your van. See, they don't want you to have any quality of life. You know, they just want you to sit in your flat, either cold, or you sell everything you got to put the electricity on. And then you start skimping with food. You find you do look for cheaper brands, even though you might have liked a certain brand. But it's like coffee, for example. I rarely drink coffee, so I tend to try and get a nice brand. But basically, I've started to go for the cheaper ones because I don't drink it much. They ain't too bad, but you tend to use more of the cheaper one. So in the end, it's just as expensive. Same with bread. Oh yes, lots of things. And of course, I'm lucky to have a home, to have these little luxuries that I've got at the moment. You know, with me, broadband. They take it for granted that the thing is, they talk and talk about all this, that and the other, these people, these politicians, these wealthy people. And they take it for granted that you've got internet. It's like the doctor's service now. They're trying to push everyone to go and make their appointments via the internet. You know, Ask My GP it's called. A lot of older people, I'm not saying they're not literate in computing, but a lot have no skills that way. And I think they're still accepting people by the phone. It does take a long time. It does take a long time. Part of my internet package, I pay £4 for it though, is I got what's called Anytime. So up to an hour, I can have up to an hour each time. And I don't have to pay for my phone call. But as long as you remember to finish your call, then you can ring again. So, I mean, sometimes I think, I don't really use that. Why am I paying the extra £4? You see? But the other day I needed to phone a doctor, I think. And I was on there for 40 minutes waiting for the doctor to reply. The reception. And it didn't cost me anything, that phone call, because I had that facility on my BT. This is Sheila's reflections as she wanders in the countryside. Now then, over there. What's that, everyone? What's that? Crook's Peak. And the back of the Mendips where I walked earlier. Right? And then eventually I came down. I got on the right path eventually. I can see exactly where I went wrong. I can see there is a path crisscrossing. But for some reason, I don't know what I was doing. I ended up in the gorse and the brambles. Look, there's the Crook's Peak. I was up there. Then I followed a path down. There's a path there and there's a path there. I got in that wide gap there and I started going down there. There's a path there. Then it ends up dead. I ended up, what I should have done, I went across there but got caught. I really should have just hung on. I knew that would happen to me. I should have just hung on. I think I was trying to come down through the middle of it. I reckon I was trying to come down through there. Got real bogged down in, you know, so now I know now anyhow. I know now. Just gonna turn off.